everybody, so here we go. We are ready to do another recipe, and today I am going to make chicken cordon bleu casserole in my slow cooker. So what I have here is 3.6 pounds of chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast. We're going to use some better than bouillon, chicken bouillon, some cream of chicken soup, a family size jar of that. I got 8 ounces, or actually 6 ounces nowadays. 6 ounces of Swiss cheese and 7 ounces of Colby Jack. 2 pounds of sliced deli ham. And a bag of frozen peas. That is 13 ounces. And anything else that I decide to put in there while we're going. But this is going to be done in 2 stages. First, I am going to trim the fat off my chicken breast, and we're going to put that on the slow cooker for about 6 hours. And then we'll finish it off for the last 2 hours. So let me get this all cleared off and put away, and we'll get started. Okay, so we got our crock pot here, and I trimmed most of the fat off of that. I mean, there's some little bits on it. I ain't too worried about that, but here. So we're just going to put those in the bottom of the crock pot, line the bottom like such. Then I got about a ½ cup of water. That's going to create a bunch of moisture in there anyway, but we just don't want it to get dry while it's drawing that moisture out. So ½ cup of water. We'll put about ½ teaspoon of better than bouillon in there. Put that on low, and we're going to let that cook for about 6 hours covered. So I'll see you in 6 hours. Okay, so we cooked that chicken breast for 6 hours on low. I then let it cool down, and then I shredded it, and we're going to put it back into the pot that has the liquid that the chicken cooked in. Put that back in there. Now we're going to take our ham and we're just going to cut that in some nice little strips. And add that to the pot. And I have 2 8-ounce packages. Spread those apart. Give that a toss. Now our chicken cordon bleu is starting to take some shape. And we'll take our family size can of cream of chicken soup. Add that to the pot. We're going to add a ½ can of water for now. We might add more later. Alright, let's give that a mix. Then at this stage I'm going to go ahead and add my frozen peas. Oh. Now, most of the recipes I saw online called for broccoli, but I'm not a huge broccoli fan, so I thought I would add peas. But if you are a broccoli lover, you could add broccoli, about a pound of broccoli, chopped up, if that's what you like. But I love peas. Give that a mix. Alright, so we'll put that back on low. Put the lid on that. And we'll cook that for a further 2 hours. So I'll see you in 2 hours. Alright, so that has been reheating up basically for 2 hours. And you want to make sure that when you're reheating this that you get that simmering along the edge. That way you know it's nice and hot in there. Because we need this hot to melt our cheese. This is pretty thick already. Boy, it sure smells good. So we might end up adding some liquid to that. So I got my 6 ounces of Swiss cheese and my 7 ounces of Colby Jack. Now we're going to mix this in slowly because we don't want that cheese to clump, but we want it to melt. If we just dump that bag in there, it'll just end up in a big ball. No chicken cordon bleu is going to complete without Swiss cheese. So we're going to add that Swiss exactly the same way, very slowly. Mix it in. Mix it well. Stop it from clumping. Check that out. Nice and thick. That would be perfect without freeze drying it. I'm debating whether to water that down just to aid in the rehydration once we get to the rehydration stage. Let me give it a taste test. A little piece of ham on there too. Oh man, that is good. Well, I really enjoyed that. That is good. I'm hoping I got some left over on this for dinner today. I'm going to put 2.5 pounds on each tray. I didn't thin this down. I decided against it. Alright, that's 2.46. That's close enough. I got my dividers set into 10. Alright. I will tray up the rest of this and see what we end up with. I'll let you know. I'll be back in a minute. Well, I'm just getting too good at guessing on how much stuff to make to fill 3 trays, because that filled 3 trays with just very little left over. But that'll be a nice little wet my whistle taste test. And I'm going to get this in the freezer frozen solid, and we're going to move on to my planko, because chicken cordon bleu needs that breaded crust. That's kind of what it's known for. So I'll move on to that, and we'll get this frozen solid, and yeah, I'll show you my planko, how I do that. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so let's get these breadcrumbs ready to go. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they're panko Japanese style breadcrumbs. All I've done is I've preheated my oven to 450 degrees. And I'm going to take these and just spread those out on my baking tray. And we are going to toast these in the oven. So I'll keep a very close eye on these and give them a stir every now and then, because we want to try and get these browned a little bit. And that's really all there is to it. So I'm going to pop these in the oven. I'm going to check them very regularly because we don't want them to burn. And I'm going to, toss them as we go as I'm baking them until they're nice and golden brown. So I'll see you when they are done. Okay, this literally only took a few minutes, so be careful when you're toasting these, because you want to keep a very close eye on those, but those are nice and golden brown. So I'm going to let these cool down, and I probably don't need to freeze dry these, but I have one empty slot in my freeze dryer, which is for the chicken cordon bleu casserole. Three slots are. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in with those, mainly for the convenience of everything will be the same temperature when I take them out and package them. And otherwise I'd have to package these right now and then repackage them into individual servings, and I just don't want to go through all that. So I'm just going to include these in my freeze dry run. The way I'm going to do that is get my tray, pour those on there, a nice touch to these would have been add sprinkle some Parmesan cheese in with these, but I didn't have any on hand before I toasted them. That would add a nice little flavor to it, but sometimes you got to go with what you got. I didn't have no Parmesan cheese on hand. So what I'm going to do is just layer it out like that. Put some paper towel on it. Like such. get my handy dandy grate and put that on there. And that's just going to discourage when we release the vacuum, it's sucking any of those breadcrumbs up into my pump. So I'll stick these in the freezer with the other stuff. And once everything is frozen solid, I will pop it all in the freeze dryer. And next time you see all this, it's going to be coming out. And we're going to do a nice taste test. I'll see you then. There we have it. Chicken Cordon Bleu casserole. And it looks good. Nice and dry. Let's see what my breadcrumbs look like. Oh yeah. They're looking good. So, we are going to package these in our single meal pouch. We're going to put 3 squares in each pouch. And I like to just kind of break it up a little bit. Not much, just to crumble it up a little bit in there. Makes it easier to shut the bag. I'm going to take a Ziploc bag. Try to figure out about right amount of breadcrumbs and cheese mix to go with that. I'm not going to Ziploc that shut. I'm just going to roll this like such and put that in my bag. And for now we're going to Ziploc that shut. I'll do that with the rest of this and I'll be right back. Okay, we got those all packaged, or pre-packaged I guess you'd say. And I'll take my 10 300cc O2 absorbers. I'm going to reopen the package, drop one of those in, and reseal it. I will do that to the rest of these 10 mils, and then we'll do a heat seal on it, and then we'll do a taste test. I'll see you for the taste test. Okay, things got busy this week and I haven't got around to doing my taste test on my chicken Cordon Bleu. So we better get this out of the way. I got a lot to do today. So, let's open her up. Here's my breadcrumbs, my O2 absorber, and my chicken Cordon Bleu. And this stuff was delicious fresh. So we put 3 squares. I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup. I don't want it too thin. So we're going to start with 3/4 of a cup. Alright, that's 3/4 of a cup. So I'm going to seal that up. Like that, and we are going to just give it a little mush. And let that sit for 2 minutes. I'll see you in 2 minutes. Okay, that has been 2 minutes. Let's open it up and give it a stir. Oh man, is that looking good in there. Nice and thick and creamy too. We'll seal that up and wait 2 more minutes. And there we have it. That's the second 2 minutes. One more stir. And let me tell you guys, this is smelling delicious. I'm going to just take a piece of chicken out of there, if I can find a bigger piece, and make sure that that is rehydrated. That is good. Alright, so after adding 3/4 of a cup of hot water from my Keurig, this is what we get. Check that out. Does that look good or what? Let me tell you, it smells good. Alright, so to top all Cordon Bleu, chicken Cordon Bleu is coated in breadcrumbs, and thus we are going to use our breadcrumbs we prepared with this and sprinkle that over the top. Get a nice thumbnail of that. Let's do a taste test. Oh man, does that smell good. You guys are going to love this. Perfection. Oh yeah. That is delicious. Everything came back perfectly. I'm loving it. That is delicious. So this one tasted fantastic right when we finished cooking it before freeze drying it. And it reconstituted beautifully. Definitely a hit. I think those peas add a good taste to that too. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I'm trying to think what I could tell you about this other than it tastes delicious. The chicken and the ham has all come together very well, rehydrated perfectly. The sauce is nice and thick and creamy. The peas do add something to this. Obviously they rehydrated very well. And the breadcrumbs are just a nice little touch to that. Probably didn't need, you could use about half of what I put in that bag, because I didn't want to overwhelm it with the breadcrumbs. Or you can just leave the breadcrumbs out if you didn't want to add them, because it tastes good even without the breadcrumbs. Well, that was absolutely delicious. I really enjoyed that. A huge success from John and Bibbs. Freeze-dried chicken Cordon Bleu casserole. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.